My name is Beth Kinyanjui, and I'm from Nairobi. I grew up in Nairobi, born and bred in Kenya. And I did my primary school in Nairobi, went to high school in Pangani Girls, where I was able to graduate and go to campus, Nairobi University. I did Bachelor of Commerce, and I majored in Operations Management. After school, I did some internships in Nairobi, and then I got an opportunity to go to Congo. I was working with Hashi. It's a company. It is a company in Kenya. So there was a project. It had a contract with the MONUSCO to supply food and fuel. So I was working with the operations department in Congo, and I worked there for 2 years. I later on came back to Kenya during the COVID period. That was in 2020. I was transferred to Mombasa. That's where our other operations were. So I was stationed there for 2 years. I was just doing logistics and supply chain until I decided, you know what, I need to try some new experience. And pursuing a master's was one of the options that I had in mind. So I started looking out for schools within Kenya and outside Kenya. And most of my friends were doing their masters abroad in the UK. They really inspired me. So I was like, okay, I need to open my mind to look into new opportunities out there. And that's when I landed on Bob Mwiti. I landed on his page on Facebook. And obviously, I thought it was a scam. And he was talking about opportunities for students who want to pursue their masters in IT courses. And I was like, okay, maybe I wouldn't be a perfect fit for the people that he's looking for. But then I thought, why just not ask? So I reached out to him. So the contact person was DMK. He's part of the program too. So I reached out to DMK. He guided me through the whole process, gave me all the information that I needed. And then, so with all the information that I had on my plate, so I had to make a choice and see how I was going to work around it. So my conversation was about the other opportunities that are not IT related, and that is where I decided to come and do operations. It was not actually there the first lot. It is a course that came later on because of the partnership that they got with this school. So when I saw that there was a school offering operations management, which was an area that I was very much interested in, because I want to, focus on lean manufacturing and production, because I'd already done the delivery part of operations, because operations is very wide. It entails a lot of things. So I always say it's very broad, in the sense that it's in every industry. So operations is in every industry, and I had already done the logistics part, the planning part, the supply chain part. The only thing that I hadn't, had experience or touched on was on production and manufacturing, which is not so big in Kenya, because as a country, we are not that big with production and manufacturing. So I saw it as a very good opportunity for me to come here and pursue it in that level and in that space, so that I can, have the whole package of operations. Yeah, and I started the whole process, and with the whole team, they guided me. It was easy. It was easier for me to be guided by the whole team. They really helped me out through every step, because it's not an easy process. It's a long process. It takes patience. It takes resilience. You know, sometimes you feel like giving up, because it doesn't look like it looks like it's close, but not too close, so it really taught me. In fact, I always tell people who are coming into the same process that if you're not patient, it will test all your characters. You will you will explore yourself. You will know that you'll explore your strengths as well as your weaknesses, because I didn't know I was that impatient. In fact, the first time I was like, okay, if it's not going to take 3 months, I'm out. So, but with the previous stories of people, succeeding in this program, I just got motivated. Sometimes you just need motivation to, to get to to get there. So with the previous stories of people who've been through the same journey, I just built on that. I built on that, and I was able to, get to the other side. And that's how I landed here in South Dakota. I took let me say 1.5 years, but the first year was just not very serious. Let me just be honest. I was just battling with my own with my own weaknesses of being impatient. I don't think it's real,
Yeah.
So I would say 1.5 years, but in real sense, it took me 6 months.
Okay.
Since I set my mind to it. I wanted to do the GMAT exam. Because even for the GMAT, that's a very big commitment you have to make,
Exactly.
especially if you're an employee.
Yeah.
And if you're working in Kenya, it requires a lot of sacrifices.
Absolutely.
So when I set my mind to it, it took me 3 months to study for the GMAT, and then to start applying for schools and getting getting the feedback back, and booking the interview at the embassy. That was another 3 to 4 months. So I'd say maybe 7 to 8 months too. Yeah. So for the GMAT, you have to just be there. You have to be present. Most people want to, and this whole program, for this whole process, sorry, you have to take one step at a time. So most of us want to go to the US before you do all these other steps, So what I went into it knowing that this is my first step of getting to the US. So I really put all my energy, all my focus on my first step. And I didn't think about the embassy. I didn't even ask question about any other step apart from the GMAT. Just put all your energy in that process.
Yeah.
So it's easier for you to pass. But most of us are half, like you're half here, you're half there. So it becomes very difficult for you to, to ace through.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you need to also set time. It's not an easy exam. You have to work hard. You have to do a lot of research so that you know the required I'm looking for the right word, the right materials to use for the GMAT, because there are so many materials out there, and it can get confusing. So you just need to do your research, look for the right materials for you to use, and I think it's going to help you. I think I scored, I haven't looked for my GMAT in a while, but I think I scored 620 or 600. Yeah.
You think you scored that?
Yeah.
I've never forgotten my score.
Oh. Yeah. I think I was, yeah, it has to be, it was a 600 plus.
620, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
620, 600, 610. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was working full time. As I said, you just have to look for time, and you have to understand your best styles, to like who you are and what works for you. Like for me, I know I work very well at night, so I'd spare like 2 hours, 3 hours a day after work, and just get busy on it. Yeah. And also ask questions. I think for me, I was we had like a group. Okay, a group of two. I don't know if that makes a group. Like me and my studying partner. We used to really help each other. He ended up scoring a 670. So
Yeah.
I can say
great.
Yeah, he ended up scoring a 670, and it was the first 670 in the program. So I
That's
think
Josh.
Yeah. So I think the strategy that we took was really good, and we were able to help each other. And I think we were also in the same wavelength. Sometimes you don't want to work with someone you are not in the same wavelength, because one person is going to definitely be derailed.
Yeah.
And that is just what it is. Yeah. Exactly. So you just need to look for the right person, and the right materials. If you're doing a group kind of, if you're working in groups setups. Okay, so my visa experience, I had my interview very early in the morning. It was at 7:15. Yeah, it was among the first people. So I was among the first, the first guys to be interviewed. The first group, yeah, because they are, divided into groups depending on the time. So I think the first slot was at 7. So I was at, mine was at 7:15. So I arrived there very early because I didn't want to, to rush into things. And, this is the first time you're doing it. So I had to make it right, to do it right the first time, to try and do it right the first time. Because with the embassy, it's 50-50. It's a 50% chance of, succeeding. So I, I was the second person to be interviewed that day at the, cashiers, because they're like cashiers, kinda. So I was the second person. And the first person was a lady, and she was from Eldoret. And
In
she
the
had,
program?
no, she was from, she was not from the program.
Yeah.
So she was given the visa. And I think maybe because other people always feel like discouraged when they see others fail. So I think my experience was different because the first person before me, who was the only person who was being interviewed, got the visa. So I was not worried. I was a bit confident. When I went there, they just asked me if at all where I'm coming to, what I'm the obvious questions: why are you coming to the US? What course are you coming to do? And I told them I'm coming to do operations management. And they were like, what did you do in your undergrad? And I was like, I did the same thing. And they were like, okay, let's see your papers. And I showed them my campus certificate from the University of Nairobi. And after that, he asked me why this state and why not any other state. I told them why. I told them, it's a bit affordable. It's affordable, and it's very convenient for for a student, because everything is a bit on the lower side, because other states are a bit on the higher end. So, and he was like, okay. Then I wasn't given the green paper to let let me make that correct.
Oh.
So they took my visa, and I was confused. When this person tells you you've gotten your visa has been approved and everything, I think for most people, your mind just goes blank.
Yeah.
I don't remember the lady saying that. My mind just went blank, and I just walked out. And I walked out, and I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be given a paper, either a green paper, a pink paper. I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, but the guy I left my passport there, so I was confused. So I called my other colleague who had already gone through the interview like the day before, and he told me, okay, they took the passport. I think that's fine. So apparently during that whole week, or during that period, they were not giving out the papers. I think they had run out of the papers. So I was confused. I went home feeling confused. No, but I called Bob before, and I told him what had happened, and he was like, okay, I think you've gotten it. So I waited for it. Yeah. But I would say it was it was easy for me because I had prepared enough. I had watched the videos. We had gone through we had been done a bit of research of what, because you can't go. It's just like any other interview, just like a job interview. You need to know everything about yourself, about what you're doing, about where you're going, and about what you're going to do. So I would advise people to just do their research. Yeah, just don't go there because it's an embassy interview and not a job interview. Put the same amount of seriousness and the same magnitude of energy when you're going to the embassy.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstake America. Upstake America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstakeamerica.com. Upstake America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
Oh, I was excited because I knew for sure now this was going to be a new chapter in my life, a new experience, something that I had thought about for a while, And I was like, oh my God, so this is actually happening to me, not just another number or another name out there. Like, it's very close home now, and it's closer home than ever. So I was very excited, to be honest. My family, because I didn't really share with them, because I didn't want to put their hopes really high. So I didn't share with them like in the beginning. So when I got it, they were like also very confused. They were like, "Are you sure you know what you're saying?" So, but they were not shocked because for me, I always just I I make decisions just like that. So they were like, oh, but they were very excited that I was coming to the US and to study a master's, and they're not chipping in anything. So they
Yeah.
were like, okay, you go and actualize your dreams. Yeah, my parents are very supportive. Yeah. My American experience has been a roller coaster of emotions, of energies, of I have had like mental shifts, you know. I've gone through it all, which is a good thing because I was looking for a challenging experience. So, and here it is. So, it's been different from what I thought it was. Growing up, everyone thinks America is what you see in the movies, but in reality, it's you have to push yourself. You have to work hard like any other person in this world. You know, you have to focus like any other person in this world. Nothing is growing on trees. Mm. You're not just going to get A's if you're not putting in the work.
Yeah.
People think this is it's merry, it's all, milk and honey. No, no, no. You have to put in the work. You have to work hard to get what you want, you know. And it has also given me like a global kind of mentality. I don't think they were used to think before. I have a very different outlook of about life and everything that comes with life. It has made me to be very resilient because being in a very new culture and having to fit in, because you have to fit in like they say, like if you go to the Romans, you have to do what the Romans do. If you go to Rome, so you're the one who is coming here, so you have to, you know, look for a way that you have to mesh with them, with the people here, to work with them, because we work with them every day. We go with them, we share classes with them. And so you have to be very flexible and very, very liberal and very, very open-minded. So it was a challenging experience, but I've gotten to a point where I have gotten a grip of everything that is happening. So it's not quite challenging. It hasn't changed, obviously, but it's becoming much easier for me. Yeah. Let's not even talk about the weather. Yes. Oh, yeah, the weather hit us from the airport. The weather here is it's harsh.
Yeah.
It's harsh. It's very different from what we have back home, especially for someone like me who had lived in Mombasa for 2 years. It's very warm. So coming from Mombasa to this weather, my body was shaken. Yeah. But with time, I just think we didn't have the right information to know what to carry. Like we didn't have the right garments. Me, I just thought a jacket is just a jacket, but we have special winter jackets for, you know, to help you during that kind of weather, you know. So me, I just carried jackets and boots, just boots that people walk around with during even summer. So with the right garments, with the right shoes, things are becoming easier. So I just feel that being here for 1 year, and it's it has always been a learning experience. Every day for me is a learning experience to be better, to do things better, you know. So things like I just said, like even when it comes to culture, they have different ways how they communicate. They're very the culture here. People, some the people are a bit sensitive to certain topics. You just don't bluff it out there, and just dish out words and throw out things. You have to be very, very careful what you say. Um, it's also a very litigious system, so you have to read. Those things that Kenyans just. I agree in every contract or any online, page. You have to read. It will teach you how to read things, because you'll find yourself in situations that you that you would have avoided if you just read. So I've learned to, to maneuver, or to just work around the system, because it's the only way for you to survive here, and not, get yourself into trouble, because you're one snap away from from jail from jail. So yeah, the American food is very different. To be honest, it's especially this part, the Midwest side of this of the US. It's very different. We don't share any foods with them. I understand that some parts share foods with, because it's dominantly white people, so they eat a lot of pasta. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but pasta. Yeah, so they eat a lot of that. Um, Mac and cheese, I think. Yeah, and what is it? And also their meat is different because it's refrigerated for a while. Kenya, we have like fresh things. So here most stuff are refrigerated. It doesn't taste the same, obviously, because it's not fresh. In the Kenyan, for them it's okay, it's fresh, but in the Kenyan standards, that's not fresh. Yeah. So it's different. But we learn how to just enjoy it. Like I love their burgers. Yeah, their burgers are nice. Like Chick-fil-A, I think. Yeah, it's good. Did
Yeah,
I
great.
pronounce it right?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I got it finally. Yeah. I miss just the Kenyan, the Kenyan culture. I didn't know even we had a culture. Like, staying in Kenya, you get used to your way of life, and you think that's how the world is. No, it's very different when you come to this side. And I think even after being in Congo for 2 years, I still felt like I was home. So it didn't feel any different. But when I moved to the US, oh my God, the culture is definitely different. It's different. Even how we socialize with each other, it's different. People here are very busy. Like
Yeah.
you literally have to book people. And it's not being rude, it's just what the system is, how the system is. People are very busy. People have classes, people have jobs, people have 3 jobs. So people don't socialize with each other. But in Kenya, like Saturday, you want to hang out with your friends, with your family. So that's what I miss. I miss just the social aspect, because it makes you, become so much in contact with your emotions, with yourself, with your, mental state, because you need that. You need that break. But it's different here. So we had, and I think for us, we had a very supportive system when it came, because we were very much supported with the international office. So they were able to guide us on the kind of jobs that we need to apply to, the kind of job assistantships that we need to apply to, scholarships. Our advisor also shared with us from the department. She shared with us all the links of the available opportunities in the department, of which some of us are actually, beneficiaries of those scholarships and assistantships. I personally worked with the school. I've worked with the school since I came here, and I got an assistantship in 2 different departments, and still working with them. And it comes with good perks for sure. When you take an assistantship, when you get an assistantship offer, they cater for your school fees. Others even cater for your apartment. Others cater for many other things. It depends with which kind of department you're working for. So those are the things we've had to, we've enjoyed. Yeah. I work with the housing department in school, so I deal with students, accommodation department in school, and sorry, what was the other question? I forgot.
What does it cater for?
Okay, so it caters for my tuition, my what is it called? My apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, they provide also housing for me, so they give us an apartment, and also like they also give us a meal plan. In the US, if you're most students have meal plans. Yeah, I think when you've gone around, you've seen like meal plans are a thing. Meal plans are like where you have money for just buying meals in school. So yeah, a meal plan is good because you get to eat lunch and dinner in school. because you can get really busy and really preoccupied. Life is very fast, so cooking can be quite a challenge. There are opportunities here if you want to apply, they're there. And the good thing with a school like SDSU is, look at me, I'm from a very diverse background. Obviously, I'm not white, and they still give out these opportunities. So it's not limited to a specific group of people. Yeah, so anyone can actually get these opportunities. They're available to everyone. Yeah, so everyone stands a chance to get them. I would always advise people for operations management. One, because it's very broad. It gives you a space to fight for in different industries and different markets because of how broad it is. Because when I think about operations, you have to think about manufacturing, you have to think about production, you have to think about logistics and transportation, you have to think about planning, which is also falls under supply chain, you have to think about quality control, quality assurance. You also have to think about inventory. So there are so many things, and also administration, like normal office administration also falls under operations. So, and sometimes some part of procurement is also part of operations. So, and project management, you see, it's very broad. So it's just for you to come. You don't want to do something that limits you to one space, to one field, to one industry. So for operations, it gives you that kind of, it's very, how do I put it? I'll just say it's very broad. So you can easily get yourself in a different field that you can, of your choice. Like you can decide to do logistics. I did logistics. I love logistics. So you can just do logistics. If you want to change, you can go to, production. Yeah. Since it's a small town and we are still trying to discover it, I would say we just hang out a lot together. Most times we just hang out as Kenyans, sometimes with the other international students. So we just look for things, that indoor stuff, just watching movies. But I like going to the movies. I like going to the cinema. So that's what I do when I'm not very, very busy. But mostly I would say just hanging out with people. Yeah. So especially if you came, for us, since we came during winter, it was a bit difficult. We didn't have a car. So we were lucky enough to get someone who we met. We met the first time we came here, and he owns a taxi business in Brookings, and he was gracious enough to offer us rides from any point, from school to home, home to Walmart, just anywhere around, like all our movements. He catered for that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's Kenyan. Yeah. Okay, this is for those people who have seriously dreamt about coming to the US. Don't stop dreaming about it. Just don't stop and make the first step. And making the first step is choosing to commit. And commitment goes a long way. Commitment is, the whole route. Like you have to finish, your journey until the end. So just make that commitment and focus all your energy on it. Believe in that process. Trust that process, and just have the patience, and you'll get on this other side. But like my highlight would be, just stay positive, just have the best attitude, because I see people coming to the program with different kind of attitudes. You're like, okay, this is a scam, being very negative. Why is it like this? Questioning everything. It's good to question, but have positive criticism about the whole program. You've seen people on this other side, so it means something is working. So don't be among those people who are on the other side of just being very negative, because negative doesn't destroy you. It doesn't destroy the people around you. It actually destroys you. Don't limit yourself with your negativity.
You have been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstake America. Come back again next time to learn concepts, tools, strategies, and resources on the path of becoming a successful immigrant in USA through real-life experiences. Be sure to subscribe to Bob Mwiti channel on YouTube and also follow him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.